Hey everyone, Ryan here. Today I'd like to do something a little more different on my station. In the past, I have reviewed movies and other things as well too, with roller coasters and everything. But today I'm gonna do something a little more different than I haven't done before, and that is reviewing a TV show on HBO Max called The Last of Us. A lot of you are familiar with The Last of Us for those who actually play the game. I have not played the game, so my review is going to be straight up different from anyone else who has been playing the game and watching the show at the same time. So I have actually watched people actually playing it on this YouTube, believe it or not. Thank you, YouTubers, for actually giving me more of an idea, the description of what I saw. I've watched this long before this show even came, believe it or not. And I get entertained sometimes by watching other people actually play a game and actually seeing it. And when I was watching this for the first time, I actually thought it was a good 10-hour movie of what I'm actually seeing. So I was actually thinking what was going to happen with The Last of Us when I first heard of this coming to HBO Max. If this was going to be turned into a movie or a TV series. And TV series is the right thing to do because you got almost like 10 to 12 hours of gameplay with The Last of Us. And then everything's almost identical with the first couple of episodes. The first two, I gotta say, I think the first two, 3, 4, okay. Because there's 9 episodes, believe it or not, in The Last of Us in this first season. There's going to be a second season, but I want to talk about later. I don't want to make this too long, but I do really want to give this a real description because I actually thought the show was actually well done. Wasn't the best, but it really grabbed my interest each and every episode, believe it or not. I was a little slow in the first episode. And the first episode was actually really kind of cool the way they actually did it because most of the scenes were identical to the game. And I thought it was pretty cool how they interacted well. We invented the same thing what you saw in the game and put it onto what the screen of this TV series. It was really clever, gotta say. So our main characters, believe it or not, was Joel and Ellie. And we also have, what was her name? We have Tess as well too. Tess is the one that actually brought Ellie with Joel to bring Ellie, I think it might have been across our country, that get help to find out what's going on, and maybe she might have a cure to actually heal these zombie-like things. Most of the zombies that we actually run into the shows are called clickers, but there are also other zombie names as well too. We've got runners, stalker, like I said, clickers, bloaters, which are probably the most advanced zombies we'll see in the show, and you got the rat kingdoms as well too. There's a lot. But this is not about this fungus thing. It's a virus of fungus is what they call it. I want to see if I can say this right. It's called, pronounce it cold yeps, as what this flu virus actually is in the TV show. But if you saw these zombies, take a look at them close up on the show. They're like open. Their face is like opened up and you got the mouth and everything. Of course, if you even get bit by them, you're going to turn into them. That sounds like a familiar thing, doesn't it? In most zombie movies, like Resident Evil, other TV show, Underworld. But talking about The Last of Us, I really thought the show was really clever. All the episodes were really good, but they also went a different direction with some different characters as well, too. If you guys are familiar with Bill and Frank, this as well, too, in the show. They actually, one episode actually went around their characters and describe who they actually are. So if you guys remember from the game, Bill was one of those likely people that Joel can actually trust, so you actually think. And they didn't show it. They actually devoted Bill and Frank in one episode to describe who these guys were. So I don't want to say too much for those who have not seen the show yet. I don't want to give any spoilers in this review, but I really like the way they actually did. That episode that I'm talking about with Bill and Frank was a beautiful episode. They've done a wonderful job with it, and going off there, everything was great. They went off the game a little bit, but they absolutely give a nice description of every character, and each and every character that Joel and Ellie run into. They live in a world where you can't really trust anybody except for them. And they well equipped with the weapons. And that's the other thing I noticed from the game, from the show. In the game, it seems like Ellie's more afraid of stuff, and she doesn't know how to actually turn into that fighter with the weapons stuff. For a kid that young, that would be hard for anybody, I gotta say. But going into the show, Ellie in the TV show, it seems like they seemed like they changed her character around a little bit. It didn't seem like she was really afraid in the show. It just seems like a different world for both of these, but it's the same thing at the same time, but it's still the same thing. What do you guys think about that? What I'm trying to describe is Ellie being in the game and Ellie being in the TV show. Almost I like with it, but there's two different things. I know a lot of viewers actually saying Ellie doesn't look the same. Come on, guys, that's not the whole concept of what this show is all about. If you got the main character of Ellie, you're gonna actually have the Ellie what you actually want from the game. But you can't base stuff like that. It's all based on these creators trying to give you a nice show. The Last of Us. Well, it's not a nice show. It's a violent show. You got the language and everything. But that's what you're going to expect from The Last of Us, because everything you get from the game, you're going to get from this TV show. But they did a wonderful job, I got to say. Everything that you actually see and actually what they interacted do into the game, they actually did it in the TV show. You got to remember, since this is a gameplay, role-playing sort of game, adventure game is in some way too, this as well too, the horror game this as well. You got to remember there's different situations this as well too, when in the game, they were in a fighting mode. They had to get down, try to move quietly around them. Something happens, and then you have to use a weapon, something like that. I actually saw that in most of these episodes. I thought that was really clever, I gotta say. And the way later on in the episode, you got to meet, believe it or not, Riley, which was Ellie's friend. And you get to find out the idea of what happened before this pandemic actually started with Ellie and Riley. I thought that was really cool. I gotta say, this was a exciting ride. I don't have to say, I'm going to say it's not the best show, but it really caught my attention after the first episode, after they did an identical scene from what we saw from the game, from that interjection in the game. That was almost like the first thing we actually saw in the show, which I thought was pretty cool. And from there on, you actually see more clean, more identical scenes. This is from the game to the show. It was clever, I got to say. And I really thought they really did a good job with it. But other than that, I just want to mention one other character that's actually in this TV show, Kathleen, if you can remember her from the game. She actually had a great, if you know Melanie Lewinsky, she was actually playing the role of Kathleen in the TV show. And I thought she did an outstanding job. Everybody in the show is really amazing, I got to say. We got Joel, which is Pedro Pascal, and we got Ella, this as well, which is Bella Ramsey. And I thought I recognized her this as well, too, because I think she was actually in Games of Thrones this as well, too. Clever. I really like this show a lot. I know I said it drags on a little bit, but I also, at the same time, once you get off a certain episode, like maybe 2 or 3, it really goes farther from there. And what's going to happen from there too, I'm really not doing my best not to spoil anything from you guys for those who have not seen it yet, but I do recommend this as well too. If you have played the game, you probably will enjoy the show this as well too. And that's the other thing too. You can pretty much know everything that's going to be going on in this TV show too, because if you know the game, you know the whole play of it, the whole role playing of it. Even it ends at the same way. This is as well as the game, but it makes me wonder too, because there is a green light for season 2. They actually did say, believe it or not, they're going to add some twists to the TV show. So I'm quite curious to see what's going to happen with that. And the other thing too is it's going to take the second Last of Us episode happened 4 to 5 years after these events that we actually saw. Ellie, believe it or not, which is Bella Ramsey, she's actually at that age now, and a lot of people this as well too. Come on, give Bella a chance. She's at the age of what her character should actually be like in the second one. I know a lot of people are saying you have to give a change of character. That's not true, believe it or not. But I think she's great to play the role of Ellie. She's perfect to play even those adult ages, to 4 to 5 years later from The Last of Us into the second one. And once again, you got to realize too, The Last of Us the game itself only went up to 2 games. And there is talk about a third game in the works this as well too. But that's not going to happen at least 4 to 5 years from now. I bet you this show on The Last of Us on HBO Max will actually go more farther than that. So that means they have to get more creative with it. Or maybe the TV shows might be based on the games after that. But anyways, I really thought this show was really entertaining. For those who have not seen it, I do strongly recommend it. And if you guys, once again, have not played the game or anything, like someone like me, I still recommend it because I actually had a really good time with it. What I actually did, believe it or not, when the Last of Us actually first came out a while back ago, I didn't want to play it because I don't like playing violent games, but I don't mind watching it on TV sometimes. I know violence games actually get to in my head sometimes. That's what I don't play them. But I don't mind watching it sometimes for a quick second. Sometimes I have to chop up a half hour, do another half hour, so-and-so, you know what I mean? But I really had a good time even watching the gameplay stuff on YouTube this as well, too. And I thought that was really entertaining. So thank you once again for other YouTubers for actually doing that. I do really appreciate it. And other than that, I'm going to start wrapping things up saying, my name's Ryan. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. And maybe later down the line, I might start reviewing more TV series. I really enjoying a lot of stuff of what I'm actually seeing on these streaming devices these days. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.